So I'm out testing my Sony action cam again after several failed attempts with my iPhone using different lenses and things. Just never, it's always so finicky. So today I thought I'd just check out the usage of the phone, or the Sony action cam, and it's like 90 degrees. So I'm testing like several things, testing these Columbia reflective gloves. We'll see. They're okay thus far. I found this unique way to stash my umbrella in the pack. It'll go right between the shoulder pads. So that works out pretty decent. Quick deployment. Loaded up my pack with just a bunch of stuff to just simulate weight and compression. Of course, added some water. And right now I'm just on this like 1 mile, 2 mile road walk on this some sort of access road near the Florida Trail, which is right off into those woods at the actual trail. But there's about a mile section of that trail that I did last week, and it is super overgrown, sticker bushes everywhere. And last week there was lots of deep water just in that one section, and several of the commenters on all trails noted that once you make it to the campsite, that after that it gets a lot better. So I'm gunning to make it there, and then just cruise around in the heat, see what happens. Got a couple tarps, might deploy those out and just test out how gear's working in general and see what works good, what doesn't work good, and what I'll take with me on the next trip. So I'm trying out not wearing socks. Last time I was out this way, everything got wet. Everything performed well. The only thing that was a kind of a pain in the butt to deal with was my socks. Once they got wet, it was just of course they're not going to dry. It was just raining and humid and walking through a lot of water. So I thought, well, since there's so much water in this general area down in South Florida, why not try and not wearing socks? That way you don't have to worry about it, and just let it drain out of your shoes. And what I did to comp a little bit was I threw on my gaiters, which I really don't ever wear. I've had them and I've never actually worn them out, so I'm wearing them now just to keep rocks and sand, really sand, out of just easily dropping down into my shoe, where I might not normally feel minor amounts of sand with my socks on. So giving that a shot. So it looks pretty decent right now. I got lost off the trail. Not looking at a map or anything. I'm not far from that fire road is a ways off to my east. But bumped into a lady with a dog, and she said she did come across an alligator, which is fun. Not super concerned about alligators, but they don't typically want much to do with people. But I'm sure if you stepped on it on accident, you'd get pissed. And here's a nice little bridge to cross. It's pretty. Something in the water there. Probably a frog. This is definitely alligator territory right here. Swampy, wet, with some dry humps. It is a good thing they've got these bridges, because you would not want to have to cross this on your own. And here we are at the first challenge of water for the shoes. We will see how this works out. I mean, it looks like I could jump up here, try to ride it up top, but it's sooner or later you gotta drop back down. This type of water is typically good for like snakes. You could have a small gator or something in there. Oh, looks like the trail actually crosses, so I tried this on the wrong side. Wonderful. Alright, so we're going deep. Definitely over foot deep. What I like is I saw a lot of the water just gush out of the shoe, which these shoes drain really well. It's one of the reasons why I got them, just drainage. They drain, they've got pretty decent grip, especially in grass, soil, mud. Rocks is okay, but slick rocks or wet rocks, not super great on wet rock. But heard some sort of a shot, not cool. But anywho, so that was the first test of the wet feet, no sock attempt here. Going through some more mud. You can see it gets pretty deep. But we gotta learn to just trudge through it. Hope for the best here. Got some more coming up. There's like a lot of burned acreage out here. Maybe they did some controlled fires. Unsure. Alright, I'm going to attempt to go around as far as I can. So I'm trying to go around it now, just to avoid dark water. You don't know what's in that dark water necessarily. And, you know, it's probably fine. But any snakes or critters would probably just run away as fast as possible seeing me coming, but who knows? I don't want to find out. If I don't have to. The mud is super deep. Well, I've seen deeper at Dolly Sods, but out here I've seen deeper as well, but it's not that bad, just gooey. But I'm told that the trail gets really nice once you get through all this garbage. We'll see. Well, we've broken out into the open space. It is definitively hot. Whew, humid. Everything is sticking. Feet are wet, but The shoes drained out all the water, so it's just a little bit of slosh in there, not much. And it's hot, and these, you know, most of the waist to armpit deep grass. Haven't seen any major animals or anything. No deer. It's so hot, they're all probably chilling somewhere. It's the smart thing to do. But I wanted to test some gear and in the heat. So that's why we did. And it looks like I'm going to deviate, or the trail deviates through this meadow here. All right. I get the camera over here out of the sun a little bit. So I reached a point where I met up with the white trail and decided to just turn around and go back. I don't know where water's at. I've only got 1 liter of water left. It's 90 degrees out. I don't want to be stuck out without a clean water source. There is water, but it is all very stagnant. I mean, I could purify it and all that good garbage, but I didn't plan on staying the night, so I'm going to think wisely here about decisions before I add, you know, 8 to 10 miles on this late in the afternoon to a circle. So, you know, on the map, a lot of times things look doable, and then you get to the reality and you don't realize there's 3 miles of calf deep water you got to go through, which can make a difference and slow you down. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, headed back. At least I'll know the route. I think the trails are not marked very good in a lot of places. Super easy to get turned around, especially when it's all overgrown and you're just kind of cutting through. At this moment, it's nice. It's fairly clean. You can see the blazes on the trees. I don't know if you can see them on this camera, but I can see them off for 1/10 of a mile, which is nice. But boy, whew, there's a lot of places where you can't see the blazes for quite the distance, and at all, and makes navigating a bit difficult. And you're under these canopies a lot of times, so you know, breaking out your cell phone to use from all trails or anything else makes it really difficult for your cell phone to get a signal and even figure out where you're at sometimes. So it's one of the reasons why I like doing these test run exploratory hikes, get familiar with the area, figure out areas I need to be aware of, and don't push things too darn far to where I can't comfortably just walk away if I need to. I'm out here to have fun, not put myself in some sort of miserable survival situation. And even though it's warm, hot in Florida, survival situation out here would suck. I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about freezing to death most likely this time of year, but man, you would not be sleeping at all. But I mean, maybe you would. Not without water though. That's going to make things difficult. And in this kind of heat, you don't want to risk that. Anywho, I almost got lost, which just about did again, looking for blazes. You see one right there. When you look out in front though, there's nothing. I got a thunderstorm approaching, so I'd like to not be caught in a thunderstorm. Rain, fine. Lightning, I don't really like that a whole hell of a lot. Especially when you got wet feet anyway and you're walking through a bunch of water. Lightning could strike off over that way and zap you through the water. So anyway, I found some blazes. I'm gonna be pressing pretty hard, so I might not video for a clip. And as expected, the rain has started a little bit. but it's kind of welcome. Not even deploying the umbrella. It's because it feels good. It's hot. I took off my hat because it was soaked. And right now I'm going through the mile of water. So it kind of feels good on the feet, but I'm just slugging through it as fast as possible so I can avoid any more dangerous storms, plus also so I don't just completely run out of water. Made it out of the woods. Coming out was not nearly as bad as going in, primarily because I was moving fast. I didn't care anymore about trying to avoid slugging through the water and the mud, and I kind of knew the way already. So right now, chilling under the umbrella because it is oppressively hot and muggy. Storms have passed. There's some way back there. Wouldn't mind a rainstorm. But yeah, overall I like the no sock approach. I know I tore my feet up a little bit, but not too bad. I don't really feel pain. And hopefully it just toughens them up a bit. Put my sunglasses on. Speaking of that, while I was moving and grooving through the mud, the water, my sunglasses came off of their croaky, fell deep into the water. Deepest water was about 105 centimeters, I think. Because my pole almost went all the way down. I had to go around that one. But I got about a half-mile walk to the car, and then that'll be it. So I tried to rinse off in the yard a little bit and then realized I was locked out. Anyway, long story short, tried to rinse off a bit. I had to take my shoes off because I had to come in through the front door versus coming around. And we'll take a look. You can see I was pretty muddy. See where the gators were doing their job. I got a bit of a blister there on this one. And I tore some skin off around here, blister there. On this foot I got a little blister there, some worn spots, but nothing like super major. I'll probably have some soreness from that, build it up. Should be fine. Doesn't necessarily keep your feet the cleanest going that route, so maybe we'll try it again. Maybe I'll go back to just using a super thin sock. That'll at least keep it clean. But I don't know, it's fun to try. No worries. Overall, it was a good trip. Hot as all get out. I am so glad to be out of it. And I am looking forward to, I'm not even gonna change clothes. Here, I'll show you what's about to happen, if you can't hear it already. Oh man, that feels good. Yeah. That feels good. So, yep. That will end this trip, or this day trip. I can't say that it ended all that bad. I think it ended pretty good. But until next trip, we'll be doing something, especially as it gets colder here in the Florida area. It is brutal to do it in the summer. I wanted to give it a try, test out some gear, and see how things work in the heat. And everything worked good. You just have to bring like tons of water. Even though you're in Florida, you think there'd be water everywhere, and that's just not always the case. What water is there isn't necessarily drinkable. But it was a good little day hike, 8 miles out and back. through water that at its highest got about that deep on me, and then water was tested almost the height of 110 centimeter trekking pole. That water I went around. So overall it was good, and definitely look forward to doing it again. I'll go back to that area probably closer, into the winter, when we're seeing temps dip into the 50s and 40s. I mean, right now today was 90. I think the low is upper 70s or low 80s. So we're still got some really high temps going on in southern area of Florida. But overall, it was a lot of fun. Just glad to get out and go do it, and I look forward to taking you on some adventures in the future. Take care.